So I want to talk today about different approaches to reloading for running.
One of the hardest things you can do in a rehab or a return to sport is getting your running volume and your intensities right.
Yeah, it's really tricky. And it's interesting, what we discovered chatting today was that our approaches are complete opposites.
Yeah, 100% flips to each other.
Yeah. So your approach, I think let's talk about approaches, and then I'll give some...
We'll give some context and then we'll sort of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Chapters. Chapter 1. So I had my surgery July, August, September, nearly 4 months ago now. Return's been great. I've gone with more of a speed and intensity based return where I started with 20s, 10 rounds of 20 meter sprints. I've been building slowly, adding 10 meters every week to that. So it's 10 20s, 10 30s, 10 40s. So the volume is very low, but I'm running pretty close to 95% max effort sprints. And so that's kind of, and so
jealous.
It feels amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
And down at Duncan McKinnon, the wind always, down at Duncan McKinnon, the wind seems like it's always in your back. You always feel like you're flying. It's great. And so I'm now up to 12 rounds. I did 12 by 50 the other day.
Yeah, right.
And so now my next step is to go sort of a run walk program where I up the cardiovascular intensity a bit. So it's more like a 20-second run, 20-second rest for a set number of rounds. So there's a bit of a heart-lungs effect going on. And then from there, I'll then add into more 1K, 2K, 3K trail running is the ultimate goal.
That's really good. I'm the opposite, and there's a couple of reasons. And one, I probably haven't told you this. So when we started the business, and I'm not proud of this. Like this is like when I look back, I'm disappointed at how much I let myself slip with the business, because it was just like I didn't have the brain space,
the cognitive capacity.
Yeah, so I didn't have my training well organised. And the reality is, if you gave me a time machine, I could go back 19 months. I'd go, well, actually, you'll cope with the stress better. You'll sleep, because I didn't sleep great for a while. When my son had a brain injury and the nightmares, and there was a whole lot of just not...
Things falling the wrong way, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd go back, because you cope with everything so much better if you're training properly. So I'm annoyed that I let myself slip, but I let myself slip pretty badly. And then I was easing back into...
It's also not helped by the fact that you have a KFC on your drive home. Let's lay it out on the table right here.
I've got like 2.
So, I don't. And you've only got the willpower for 1.
Yeah, I said no to that one. And then...
fine.
It's actually Red Rooster. Because you can get the roast chicken rather than the deep fried chicken.
It does smell pretty good when you bring it in.
Yeah. Anyway, back on track. So
your running program.
To give context on that, so I was easing my way back in, and I started doing cardio, and I was so unfit. I've never been this unfit before in my life, and I was doing cross trainer, and I started to feel all this like pain in my heart,
left side of your body tingling.
Yeah, just pain all around here, and I thought, oh, I'm having a heart attack. Yeah, and
we joke about KFC, but it's a serious matter.
Yeah, and so I thought I'm having a heart attack, and I jumped in the car and I went to the hospital. I checked myself in, took myself to the emergency area, and
How long ago was this?
6 months ago.
So like April, May.
Yeah, and so I went to the hospital thinking I'm having a heart attack, and they made me sit there for 4 hours, and I'm like, I don't reckon I'm having a heart attack. I reckon if they agreed...
You get to hour 3, I think I'm good. Just check yourself back out.
I'm getting really hungry.
Come off to KFC. Red Rooster.
And then in typical male fashion, and in slightly not closing the loop that well fashion, I went to the doctor and I got some bloods done, and then forgot to follow up on them for like months. And they came back, my bloods were awesome, so it was good.
Well done.
Thank you. They also had an EKG thing scheduled, but I just didn't show up.
Very male. Very male of you.
Anyway, so I had this at the moment when I thought maybe I was dying. It was like quite profound. I was like, oh my god, my kids are going to be left without a dad. Like it was full on. Right? So when I started my cardio, it wasn't all about the intervals.
Yeah, fair enough.
And on top of that, the experience I had when I first started barefoot running, I think that's so there's the not having your heart explode side to my
6 or so months
plan.
ago.
And
Go back further.
Going back further, when I first started running, I bought a pair of toe shoes because a friend of mine, Co, if you're watching, had talked about the barefoot thing, and I did some reading, and it was just inaccessible.
He's the guy who took me over the edge when you were first explaining it. You were explaining it, and then he was in the gym, and it was like,
it just makes so much sense. So my experience with barefoot shoes, I bought a pair of the weird toe shoes. I put them on, and after 2 hours, my feet started cramping. And I was like, oh, I'm onto something. If all of the intrinsic muscles of my feet are cramping from this.
That week, yeah.
I had DOMs for 3 days after them. And then very stupidly I got excited and I started running like the next week. And it was lovely and it was great right up until I got some low-grade Achilles tendinopathy. Because it's just, my tendons had never been in that position.
An intelligent approach to starting barefoot running will be linked below or above that video.
That's a good video. Yeah, it's really good.
I did the other day, yeah.
So, and then I would start running. There were a couple of false starts where I'd start again and I would get a bit sore. And it was like every time I started to really be able to open up my stride and start to sprint, my left Achilles would get sore. And my left foot's a bit bunged up. It came out like I was born with it.
Bit special. Yeah.
It's not a good foot. My right foot's a great foot. So this time I was like, all right, I'm not going to have a heart attack and I'm not going to have any tendinopathy based problems. So I started running again and then I got to run 4 runs into my return to running. Beautiful day, there was someone ahead of me and
that sounds good. Again, being male.
and I was like, and I felt amazing. But then I got home and I was like, oh, Achilles is a bit sore. So I made a rule that for the first 10 runs.
So this is now.
This
like
is
the
now.
present day.
Yep. The rule was I'm not allowed to run fast until I've got 10 runs under my belt. And I'm approaching that now, but I'm still not going to be starting running fast because I'm still not really ready.
So what are you doing with your running?
I'm running 3K pretty slowly. Like I'm trying to run it as fast as I can continuously because I find the stop-start doesn't feel that nice on my 43-year-old knees. It's like they want, because intervals is a much better way to do it. Like there's so many physiological reasons.
Especially that body composition coming up.
Yeah, there's so many reasons. But my right knee, which is the knee that I always, for 17 years, when I've demoed a single leg squat cold,
it's gone right.
I've always gone right because that's my better leg, and it's just a bit of a grumpy knee. I think it'll be fine once I've got more load into it, once I'm
a little more strength in the system as well.
Strength, yeah. But anyway, the point being, I have to run continuous if I want it to feel nice. So I'm running 3K pretty slowly. My heart rate's at around 170.
Don't die. Don't die.
And then the idea is that each time I'll just run just a little faster, a little faster, a little faster. And then once I'm able to run it at a decent clip, so once I'm able to do it at around the sort of 14 minutes for the...
So under 5 minute Ks.
Yeah, and I think by the time that happens, I'll be at a point where I can start to run some sprinty stuff, or not sprints. I'll literally go
more fartlek stuff.
Yeah, so I'll run 400 meters at 70%. Like if I'm running currently at 40% of maximum pace or 30%,
40.
Yeah, I'll run at 70%, and then I'll just jog through it, but I won't actually stop. And then, so it'll take me ages to get to where I'm doing sprints, but I think I'll arrive at it, hopefully, I'll arrive at it not dead, hopefully. And my heart's fine, I think, but still, when you've had that scare,
get that EKG.
Okay. And I'll arrive at it with happy tendons, strong calves, because I'm still finding that I run on a Monday, and then I run on Tuesday and I run on a Friday. But I've still got, I've got a little bit of DOMs today and I'll have just cleared most of it away by the time I run again tomorrow. But that supercompensation cycle is quite long for me because I'm old and my calves are not used to it.
Yeah.
And so it's...
And because you have that deconditioning period.
Yeah.
And with the reason running is so hard to come back to is because that lack of it, that elastic eccentric loading, it's just such a, we're like, oh, weight training so hard. It's like, no, running. That elastic load and that stretch shortening cycle on the tendons, especially the Achilles and the patella tendon, it takes a long time for that tendon and that calf to get used to absorbing that kind of load again.
Yeah, and then you wait, what's I think it's like 3 months for full cell...
90 days for a full turnover of the collagen in your tendon,
yeah. And so I feel like I probably need to have 120 days so that the collagen, also like all of my collagen has been born
and completely
is used to the running. Yeah. So I'll take quite a while. So it's not great for the getting ripped thing.
No.
But for the long game,
We'll see. Yeah, so that's
that's a long story.
that was long. Was that all we were going to talk about?
I think so, and I think
So the sprint approach versus the volume approach.
so. If you're young and you've got good integrity in your body, and you're not worried about a heart attack, and you've got a fitness base, the sprint is the way of everything because you're going to get fitter faster. You're going to get better faster.
There's a strength carryover effect from that eccentric loading of the braking and the accelerating.
And there's a cascading hormonal effect. There's all sorts of wonderful benefits. So my choice, given if we're both 25,
yeah, and
I would do that.
Often conditioning and running stuff, it's kind of considered outside the realm of the muscles. It's like the muscles and the tendons and the bones, they have to adapt at the same rate your heart and lungs do. Because your heart and lungs, get them done.
I feel like my heart and lungs is pretty good. Like, I'm not like gassing when I'm doing it, but I can feel if I start to push it all, then my calves and Achilles, same dude.
It's almost, when let's talk back to the return to running stuff, it's almost always the tendons and the bones that hold you back when it comes to your return. So patella tendon, Achilles, your calves,
I think so, yeah.
fifth met, stress reaction, shin splint type stuff. They're the things that hold you back when it comes to your return to running.
So the big takeaway is, I think, that horses for courses approach. So your way is the best way of getting fit, ripped,
the textbook
fast.
best way as far as physiological adaptation.
But for my particular situation, it would not be a good way.
It would be dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd end up just not being able to run. Whereas I want to run till I'm dead. Like I want to be able to. I want to be like 60, and you're like, "How's your running?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's knocked out of the park." Like, yeah.
Cool.
Can we do a tiny little add-on?
Sure.
Okay, so